All right, everyone. So this is Olivia James, and I am studying the Yips. I own a site called the Yips Consultant, and I'm talking to various people who have experience treating the Yips, and James Hymers is one of them. So do you want to just tell everyone a little bit about you and what you do?
Sure, Olivia. Hello everybody. My name is James Hymers and I'm a fast change therapist. And what does that mean? Basically, I like to help people with problems, whatever they are, and do it very fast. Therapy has changed over the years, and we no longer have to lie you down for weeks and months over years, once a week visit, and ask about your relationship with your mother. Okay, we can find out what the problem is and just get rid of it using the world's latest revolutionary therapies. Some of these therapies have the ability to delete memories and to delete the emotional content of memories of any traumatic experience or what have you. So you can see how helpful that would be. Anything that's ever happened to you in your life and therefore changed the way you act because of it can be wiped out in an instant, in literally minutes, and then you are completely different. So let me tell you about my experience with the Yips. So I've never had the Yips myself. I'm a mad keen golfer. I play off single figures and shoot good scores regularly. And I think it's the greatest game on the planet. It really is, because you cannot master it. One day you are amazing and the next you're not. What's the difference that makes the difference? Well, there's many factors, but hey ho, that's a whole nother conversation now, the rabbit hole we're not going. But so the Yips. So I was out playing golf one day at my golf club, and then I came across a guy who had the worst case of Yips I'd ever seen, and it was just unbelievable. It was like watching a train crash. I mean, the guy was going around, it was a putting Yips, and he was going around the hole like Zorro. He just could not make 3 foot, 2 foot, 1 foot putt, and eventually, you know, give me, I'll pick that up, what have you. And you could see the range of emotions that this man was going through. It was like anger, frustration, guilt, fear, embarrassment, shame, you name it, a myriad of emotions. And so I had a chat with him later on in the bar, and I said, look, I'm a therapist and I tend to work with people who no one else can help. Would you like to have a go? And he said, oh, I'd love to, because I'm ready to give the game up. I said, okay. He said, well, I used to be a really good player, playing off single figures, and now, you know, I just can't make a putt, which was true, because he was great from tee to green. And so I worked with him over the next, I don't know, a few weeks with different types of therapy and what have you. And then I eventually got to what we would call the encoding moment. So what happens with our brain is that our brain is amazing, and it's so complex, and it's also very lazy, and it loves to run the same patterns over and over again. So we're literally running on patterns we learned from the ages of 1 to 7. And so this is why environment is so important. But basically what happens is our brain learns something it doesn't like and will give us a response. So let me give you an example that we have all burnt ourselves, and most people can't remember the first time they ever burnt themselves. I can't. But let's just imagine that I burnt myself on the top of an electric cooker, and it was boiling hot, and I touched it. Ah! And then my brain says, James, that equals pain. Don't get too close to that ever again. And in that moment, my brain also works out that not only is the cooker boiling hot, but also that red hot motorcycle exhaust pipe might not be a good idea to go next to, and also the steam coming out of that kettle, and that boiling hot radiator, and anything else that's hot. You know, it's learned all of those things like that in an encoded moment, in a nanosecond. It's learned it that fast. That's what happens with the Yips. So you imagine you're frustrated, and it drives you mad. Now, in order for us to encode something, there has to be 4 things present. There has to be an event. So number 1 was the event, you missing a putt, what have you, and all your mates falling around laughing. And okay, there has to be a meaning. Well, the meaning is, I'm rubbish at this. Oh my God, why does this always happen to me? Blah, blah, blah. There has to be L, the landscape. So that means the state the brain is in. So you have to be already wound up. So it could be whatever. It could be hungover. You could be feeling ill. You could have had an argument with your partner, what have you. But the brain needs to be revved up already. And there has to be an inescapability to it. So you can't get away. You've got to make that part. With those 4 things, you can encode anything in the brain, anything negative that is. And it will stay with you for life. Now, there are other therapies like hypnotherapy, for example, which I'm a massive fan of, which can get the brain to go round problems. That's great. But there's not too much out there that can literally pick in and pull it out like it's gone. So using the Havening techniques, I've heard people doing this with EFT and TFT, which I'm a much bigger fan of TFT, which is thought field therapy, invented by Roger Callahan. And there's a couple of other bits and pieces out there that you should be able to do this with. Now, I use the Havening techniques, which I'm a massive fan of, because the reason that I use this is rather than just tapping and then we can give it a whirl and see if it works or not, the client will actually see or feel memories being played through their brain as we're pulling them out. So it creates the aha moment. And I suppose another advantage I've got over many therapists when working with this is that I am a very good golfer. So what I prefer to do is a two-pronged approach, because I'll work with people's minds, take away all the fears, frustrations, anger, guilt, shame, whatever, all the emotions that are in there. And they don't mean anything, but they're in there, even if it's only 10, 20, 30%, what have you. Then I'll take clients outside where I'm based in Windsor, and I've got a lovely bit of grass there in the field, and I'll get them to hit shots. And quite often, over the years, a player will have changed his setup further and further and further away from the norm so that they can strike the ball first or what have you. And so even though the feelings of all these inhibiting feelings would be gone after working with them, quite often their setup will still be horrendous, and making it harder for them.
The whole setup rather than just the grip.
No, yeah, whole set. So they've moved the ball back in the stance way far back, so the ball's coming down at such a steep angle of attack that there's no way they can have a smooth stroke. Otherwise, they'd be, going down through the ground like 6 inches. And all we want to do is play the ball through the middle of the stance, or even further forward if you wish to. But basically, you just want the ball in the middle of the stance with your left foot turned out, like Dave Pelt says, and it's a great way of doing it. But so I'll take people outside and then get them to hit shots, and literally within 5 minutes I'll be standing in front of them 20 feet in front and getting them either to chip shots into an umbrella or me sometimes holding my hand out and say fire it to there, and they can't believe how confident they feel. Yes, I'll use other therapies as well to put even more confidence in there, maybe like a bit of NLP and what have you, and some more Havening and what have you, and then just really boost them right up. To get their brain to feel what it's like if they were the best in the world, if they were, Seve or Luke Donald or Ernie or whoever. And then before they know it, they're hitting shots. And I've got a success rate of sort of 90+% in one session. And then some people need two. It depends. But here's the thing. When I'm working all the stuff with the yips with them, it's not just with the yips. That's going to filter. Once I start pulling out their anger, guilt, shame, embarrassment, all this stuff going on, it's going to filter into other parts of their lives.
Exactly.
I've had so many people get in touch with me saying, well, that stuff you did for the yips, I can't believe it. I'm just so much more relaxed doing this now.
I get this all the time with people, with clients saying, well, we worked on this area, but I just feel so much better generally,
Yeah, well, it's all linked up. It's all linked up. One part of the brain affects another. But that part of the brain, the amygdala, which controls fight or flight, you start working on that, it becomes more relaxed. And all of a sudden, then the rest of the brain is doing the work, prefrontal cortex. In other words, you get to choose. It gives you back choice.
Yes, exactly.
But this is it. So it's really fast. Most of the people I see, take an hour or two, sometimes even less, and it's done, and it's fantastic, and I love it.
Amazing. It's so rewarding. So one of the things, so I'm not trained in Havening. So one of the things that I'm trained in is a thing that helps with negative memories. So with you, would you normally try and find like the encoding event? Is that how you would do it? Would you then find the
That would be a way of doing it. Every client is different, Olivia. So some people just won't know. So you go with their best guess, and you can ask them if you did know and what have you. But luckily, like I say, using Havening is so great because you can literally just start with a word and an emotion. So I could get them to say, angry, I can't putt, or what have you, and it will pull out every single memory attached to that. So I don't always need to find the encoding moment. I know it will be found. Yeah. And quite often a client will have an aha moment, but I have some who don't. And we still go outside and we hit shots and it's different. And I'll say, great, just tell me what it's like in a couple of weeks, knowing full well that it's done.
Yeah.
And then they'll get back to me and say, wow, that's really different. Because I was going to give up golf and now I'm playing the best golf of my life again.
That's fantastic.
That's a great thing because it will bleed into other their shots. They'll be more confident hitting iron shots, driving the ball, or what have you. all of a sudden they're a bit more bulletproof.
So can you do the havening on yourself? Is that why you're such a good golfer? Is that your secret?
No, I love golf. It's one of them. I mean, it's just so great. With golf, like any other, really amazing sport, you've got to put in the hours. Some people get faster at it than others. I think if you look at, say, Gary Player or there are some other great, like Adam Scott and a few others, and Greg Norman, they all got down to scratch in like 18 months, which is terrific. And for other golfers, it takes longer, but it is a case of, I'm a big fan of intrinsic learning. You can be coached, don't get me wrong, and it's great to learn the basics and what have you, but our brains learn much faster if we do away with all the numbers and angles, this, that, and the other. We work with intention. That's what works. There's a great golf teacher called Michael Hebron in the States.
Yes.
And he wrote a book called The Golfing Machine, which was really split down to numbers and angles and this, that, and the other, and this position and P2, P3, P4, and all of that. And he's changed his complete coaching style now. I said, you know what? It's all nonsense. You're much better off with intention. And when he coaches now, they're like, how to hold the club? He said, how would you like to hold it?
I know. I read his stuff. I'm connected to him. So, I read his stuff, and it's very interesting.
Well, the brain will find a way. So this is the thing. When you think that our unconscious mind and the conscious mind, I mean, if you're using your conscious mind thinking about stuff, you're slowing your brain down so much. So much. Use the unconscious mind. Just tell it what you want it to do, and it'll find a way. And the way to do that is with free of judgment. Hit bad shots. That's fine. We're all going to. Just hit shots, and you'll learn over time. Exactly. Your brain will work it out.
Yeah. So people trying to do complex motor movements consciously, and you can't do it.
Well, no. The thing that makes me laugh is when I talk to some golf coaches, and I'll be explaining to them how fast the brain works, and they'll say, "Yeah, but in the downswing, you've only got whatever it is. Let's just say, like, for argument's sake, I'll pluck a number out there, 400ths of a second or what have you. If you're swinging the ball at like whatever, I mean, my driver speed's like 115, and they're saying like, you've only got. I said, do you realise how much the brain could do in that? It could do 1,000 calculations in that second easily.
Yeah.
So that you do save shots and what have you. It can work so fast. It has to keep us alive, and it does every single day.
So that brings us on to the next bit, which is there's a theory that people get the yips because they have done the same micro movement over and over again. They practiced it and practiced it and practiced it. Same theory with people like surgeons who also get vocal dystonia. They also get this problem. So what about the theory that there is basically you've overused that bit of the motor program? Okay,
imagine this. How many millions of times have you put your car, put a key in the front door?
Yeah, loads.
Yeah, are you still able to do that?
Yeah, but I can vary it a little bit. I don't have to do.
Not really. The key has to go in the door and get turned the same way.
Yes, it does. That's true.
How many times has a guy putting a hammer on a nail, whatever, exactly the same?
A guy.
It is not about the mechanics. It's about the pressure.
It's about
how many times has someone sewed a stitch? How many times? All these things we could do the same with the hand, hand-eye coordination, what have you. A guy hitting nails, someone using a chisel. They don't get the yips. It's the pressure.
So then, but like surgeons get it, dentists get it, snooker players get it.
A surgeon is worried that he's going to kill someone.
Yeah, okay.
A dentist is worried that he's going to maim someone. I mean, you look at the suicide rate for dentists, that's right up there.
Yeah, there's some theories about that, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. That's mercury, but we won't get on.
That's the theory that I've heard. So then also people like classical musicians can get dystonia.
But that's pressure again, isn't it?
Okay. Got you.
Isn't it? Oh no, we're going to be performing here tonight, and I'm going to go pressure. It's the same thing. Snooker players, dart players, basketball players, you name it. It's pressure. It's stress.
And
our performance anxiety.
So there's a study done by Mike Rotherham linking the yips and dystonias to perfectionism.
I'm not buying it. It's pressure.
Right, but
Listen, there's going to be
someone,
loads of different people who are going to look at it loads of different ways. But what I'd argue is, how many of these people have got a cure for it? How many of these people have solved it? Rather than saying it's this and it's that and it's the other. There was loads of people who told us the world was flat, right? Once you've worked it out, all the people I've worked on, the same things that comes pouring out of their mind without me saying a word, being the same things. I feel afraid, I feel anxious, I feel embarrassed, I feel angry, I feel frustrated, and they have a real hard belief, I can't do this anymore. That's not perfectionism. That's someone who's felt performance anxiety.
right, yes. So anxiety is a component. So the Debbie Cruz, who did the studies at Mayo Clinic in the States, Dr. Debbie Cruz thinks that there is that anxiety definitely makes it worse, but it doesn't cause it. And what you're saying is anxiety is a contributing factor for sure.
I'm saying it's it.
It's it. Okay.
It's just the same thing, burning yourself on a cooker. Ow! It's an encoded moment within, the amygdala, and that's what it is. It's saying something happened, I don't like it, I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
Just like things that happen to us in our life. You get into a fight, what have you, any of that. You get uncomfortable doing it. You stand towards the edge of a building, you're like, whoa, you can feel those sensations, they're real. Yeah, we can try and pigeonhole it and say it's this, it's that, it's the other. It's the booby prize. We don't care what it is, we want it gone.
Yes.
There's loads of doctors who can do loads of studies and say it's this, that, and the other. Where does that get us? Nowhere. We want it gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
I found a way of doing it. I'm sure other people have too.
Yeah.
But the result is, we want it gone.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've worked with golfers. Have you worked with any other athletes or anyone else who has a form of this?
No, I haven't. I'm quite willing to. There's snooker players and darts players. I mean, I'm based in Windsor, just outside London in the UK.
Yeah.
But I'm a mad keen golfer, so I've been written about in a few golfing magazines and what have you. So it's golfers I tend to see, but I see everyone. So it's not just the yips and golf I do. That'd be a small part of what I do. I see people for all sorts of problems, for trauma, PTSD, anxiety, phobias, you name it. Whatever walks through the door, I really don't mind. I love helping people, young, old, male, female, don't care. Got a problem, I'll help you. Especially if they say, oh, no one else can fix this. Then I'm like, yeah, okay, let's have a crack at this.
Yeah, sometimes I talk to clients and they go, I have spent literally 50,000 trying to overcome this. So there comes a point, if somebody's had that much therapy and tried so many different things, they kind of have decided that probably no one can help them.
Yeah, of course you have that with clients, but I mean, that's the great thing about testimonials or having a track record.
Yeah.
Or I just say to people, I'll do it. And they'll say, is there a money back guarantee? And I'm like, no, if you want a money back guarantee, go and buy a toaster. But come and see me and I'll work with you. Yeah. And I'm going to give it my best shot. And for nearly all of them, I can do it. I can remember one of the first people I couldn't do it with. And that was, without a doubt, the most angry man I've ever met in my life. So I think I would have got it in the end. It just needed a bit more work. But it just depends how your brain's running. But it's the same process going on for everyone. So it can be done.
Amazing. So where can people find out more about you? And where can they come?
Okay, so they can have a look at my website, which is my name, which is James Hymers, which is Hotel Yankee Mike Echo Romeo Sierra.com. Look at my website. There's a page on there about the yips. There's a page on all the revolutionary therapies that I use. And if not, you can email me at info@jameshymers.com and I'll get back to you.
Fantastic. And do you have any videos of you working with anyone? Or are they like...
I have some videos of me working, on my website there's a video working with clients using the Havening techniques, but not specifically for the yips. But funny enough, I'm going to shoot one this week. So.
Good. I think that would be amazing. I'd love to see that, and I'd love to link to that on the Yips Consultant as well. So
okay.
That would be brilliant. Okay, well, thank you so much, James. That's been, I like it when people speak their minds, and you certainly did that.
Yeah, I get called the straight talking therapist all the time, but I mean, isn't that what we want? I like
Exactly.
what Einstein said: if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you. Brilliant.